Hello, my name is Holden Hardman, and today I am going over my top 8 great scenes in otherwise terrible superhero movies. Now, this is not an official list, just scenes that I personally thought were good in these bad movies. You might agree with me on these, so stick around. Number 8, Catwoman. While I was hesitant to even put this movie on the list, there is one scene in the movie Catwoman, yes, Catwoman, that was not complete garbage. It is the scene after Patience Phillips is killed and lying in the gutter, and the moment we see all the cats gather around her. This idea that her feline friends all share a common connection, and even an odd supernatural ability, was a unique twist on the Catwoman of today. Catwoman does not have superpowers in the comics, or in any other iteration of both past and present, but this new mythology of the cats banding around her and breathing new life into her, and in doing so enhance her physical abilities, is not terrible. Not redeeming, but not terrible. Number 7, Daredevil. Mostly viewed as bad, this movie had a lot of great qualities. The modern day superhero movies were just starting to get into swing. An overbearing performance by Colin Farrell in this one. Every move he makes, every step he takes, just annoys me. He overplays himself way too much, literally arms out saying, "Look at me!" But the one, and I think the only scene that works for him, is when he is on the plane listening to this old woman ramble, and you see those same facial expressions and weird eye twitch things he does actually make sense. This would get on anyone's nerves. The scene in question, he takes a rapper and, true to name, hits a bullseye right in her throat, effectively suffocating her. A humorous quality they add on top of that is when the stewardess comes over and thinks she's sleeping. Number 6, Spider-Man 3. The lackluster conclusion to the otherwise amazing Sam Raimi Spider-Man films, this movie just did too much, didn't know which story arcs to follow due to the high number of characters it introduced, among other problems, but definitely has moments that show a great Spidey. In this one, Spider-Man has effectively let the symbiote suit ruin his life, making him an aggressive jerk. He's fed up. The symbolism here is strong, and that's what makes this so good. It is fitting that Peter would find his way to a church to seek his own redemption before attempting to fix his life. He must rid himself of this sin. With determination, he grabs the suit, ripping it apart, but it is determined to stay right where it is. The church bells help disrupt the symbiote, allowing Peter to eventually go free. On top of that, the sins of his past catch up with him through Eddie Brock, whom Peter, under the influence of this symbiote, humiliated, but consequently now giving him this dangerous tool. Very powerful. Number 5, Batman and Robin. To be honest with you, there's absolutely nothing about this movie I don't like. I love the puns, I love the cheesiness, I love the fake sets. This is not a great superhero movie, but I'll be damned if it's not entertaining. Isn't that what movies are about anyway? The scene here is Mr. Freeze setting the way for his character for the remainder of the movie, and it does not disappoint.
You are not sending me to the cooler. Freeze well! What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age!
Number 4, X3, X-Men United. This movie had a lot of great action sequences, but missed the things that made the first, and especially the second one, so great. One particular scene in this movie stands out as great, however. The death of Charles Xavier. Tension builds up slowly to this moment in the professor's last-ditch attempt to get Jean to come to their side, and to be careful of the monster growing within her. Like Spider-Man atop the church, this is truly a battle of the heart. Jean Grey listens to Xavier and Magneto battling for her soul, but the time for decision has come, and she exemplifies just how powerful she has become by lifting Xavier up out of his chair and into the air. This is a high-octane moment, as the music and even the foundation of the house are high with anticipation. Suddenly, everything stops. Silence and stillness covers them, like the eye of a hurricane. Xavier utters his last words, that even in this moment of his death, righteousness and goodness will reign supreme. He looks at Jean, and with an almost eerie display of peace, he utters his last profound words.
Don't let it control you.
Number 3, X-Men Origins Wolverine. This movie traded in convicting story for what they thought the Wolverine's fans had wanted all along. A lot of action and explosions, which this movie definitely delivered. Just a bit too many weird-looking special effects for my taste, though. One very early scene, however, resonates supreme, and I wouldn't even be opposed to this being a movie in its own right. This is one of the early scenes where we see Wolverine and Sabretooth going through the course of history and through every major war, and it looks awesome. In this short amount of time, this scene does two things that are impressive. It exemplifies the bond between Wolverine and Sabretooth. They literally have gone through everything together from their time as children to the wars they fought shoulder to shoulder in. And secondly, it shows the beginning detachment of their brotherhood as Sabretooth begins down a dark path, slowly yet inevitably. Despite their lasting brotherhood, this difference in ideology will make them powerful enemies. Wolverine is a killer too, no question, but the main difference is that Wolverine does not kill for the sake of killing, for the sake of evil. His brother, on the other hand, relishes in it, loves it. As the smaller and weaker brother originally, Wolverine gets a few upgrades to defend his views on morality.
Ooh, shiny.
Number 2, Spider-Man 3. It was always Sam Raimi's intention of having Sandman in one of his Spider-Man movies. We now know that the reason for the lackluster blockbuster was because of disagreements with Sony on creative control. This compromise resulted in the movie being the disappointment that we know it to be. However, when it came to Sandman and his character's creation, we were graced with a powerfully emotional moment. This scene shows us a man who has made mistakes, literally rising from the ashes, seeing what motivates him, again, literally in his hands, and the determination to again, literally, pull himself together for the fight of a new day. The music, the effects, his silence, all work well in making this a heart-wrenching scene of believability and conviction. If only that would have lasted.
Now dig on this.
Number 1, Superman 3. Taking us back to the 80s, the special glue that held the very first superhero movie together had withered away. We were left with boring slapstick comedy, annoying characters, and a superhero movie that made our parents write about us when it comes to us reading comics. That they're stupid and you won't learn anything from them. I'll give you this one, Mom. However, in this muck of garbage and insult to Superman's legacy,
It's unusual finding a good-looking girl like you alone like this.
it had one scene that was deeply philosophical and displayed an outward exaggeration of what was happening in the heart of Clark Kent. When the evil and goodness of Superman split into two, and good and evil were left facing each other, they fight to the death. The only problem with this scene is that they don't make it clear whether or not Superman actually does physically turn into two people. Now, many saw this scene as cheesy, along with the rest of the movie, but I saw it as a little flame attempting to rekindle the fire of its predecessor, and it went ablaze, if only for a moment. I've always taken it as more of an external metaphor of what was going on inside of Superman. That may be a difference of opinion, and not a deal breaker either way, but for me, this scene brought us back and rooted us into what made the first and the second Superman movie so good. Real problems, hard choices, consequences, moral dilemmas, and even just a moment of seriousness for goodness sake. Everybody loves a battle between two powerful juggernauts on opposite ends of ideological willpower. Let me know what your favorite scenes are in bad superhero movies. Any movies I left out that left an impression on you? Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos. I hope you liked this video, and I'll see you next time.
What are you looking at?